Listen, I want to tell you guys today about something called composting. If you're doing home gardening, this is something that you definitely want to get yourself into. Composting, right? What all that is when natural organic materials break down and they turn back into almost like the soil. So it's the most highest way of recycling. That's what happens when leaves fall off the trees, decompose. They go right back into the soil and they produce nutrients so that the trees that drop them can actually grow. It's just one big recycling process, and we can do the same thing with natural materials. Okay, natural products. Really simple to do. The materials that you would use for composting are raw fruits and vegetables, maybe ones that you had in your refrigerator too long, they may have spoiled or gone bad, things like that. You can also use leaves, grass cuttings. You can use ash from your fireplace or wood stoves. You can use newspaper that's ground up. All the things like not plastic, but paper bags that are recyclable material. Those things, if you shred them up, cut them up into small pieces, they can go in. Eggshells, perfect things to go in. Coffee grounds that have been used already. Tea and tea bags can go in there. Paper towels, toilet paper, things of that nature can all be recycled and composted, and it turns into a wonderful thing. Now, easy way to do it is you can just pile things in a heap, and over time it's just going to happen. And that's what I have here. I'm going to show you guys something. This here is my place where I have compost. I had compost growing. There's nothing there now because I've used some of this when I had some flower beds in the front of my house that I just set up, and I used a lot of my compost here to go into there. But that's a pile. But last year I started I bought a compost tumbler. What happens is this stuff, you pile it on, and then over time it just will begin to sink down because the materials begin to break down. And this stuff is it becomes nutrient, so stuff will just start growing out of your compost pile and everything. But I bought a compost tumbler. That's what this is. So you put the materials inside of here, and actually it will, and then you give it a spin, and it actually will help to produce the compost faster. So I'm going to show you guys. I'm about to open this thing up, and you get to see what's inside of it. All right, so it's turning nice and brown. It's very warm inside of here. Stuff is still growing up in here. You see those paper shreds? That's just some paper that not the paper that has you don't want the kind that has all the colors and a bunch of ink and the thick paper and stuff like that. You don't want any of that. But, if it's just plain newspaper or plain black and white paper, you can use that. So you can see what's going on in here. Look at that. That thing right there, that was an apple. But because it's in here with all these nutrients, it's starting to grow. You can see that's a parsnip piece, all that, and it's really warm inside of here, even though it's like 60 degrees outside. So this is a good investment because it takes a long time to actually make compost, but in a tumbler you can produce that in a fraction of time. Now, the more often you spin it, the faster it's going to grow. And I haven't spun this in about a week or two. So, no, about a week. It's been a week since I spun it. But I'm going to spin it today, and I'm going to add some stuff in here. I had some lettuce that I let go bad, so that's going to waste. I had some blackberries in the back of the refrigerator, so those are going in, and that's it. So listen, guys, compost, good for your garden, good for material. You can see down here where my compost was. Look at that, stuff is starting to grow. Stuff all up in there, starting to grow right where my compost was. So, as always, people, get to growing. Shalom.